Hi friends, it's Joan at 10 Pentacles Tarot, and I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while because I have a personal experience with Moldavite. And if you haven't heard of Moldavite, it is called the Star-Born Stone of Transformation, at least in this book it is. And a while back, like this was the year before COVID hit, I had been reading a book, and I wish I could remember which one it was, but I believe it was by a doctor, and one of his patients had given him a piece of Moldavite, and he found that it did really unusual things. And if I can find that book, I'll let you know more about that. But anyway, I became intrigued by Moldavite. And so I went to a crystal store and I found this teeny tiny piece. And call me crazy, but this was back in, what was it? 2020. Was that the year COVID hit? 2020? Well, anyway, whatever it is, the October before that happened, I found this stone, and this little tiny piece, which measures like a ½ inch long by a ¼ inch wide at the widest point. That little piece of Moldavite cost me, I believe, $25. I know, call me crazy, but I just had to have it. So I bought this, and I started reading about it. And the more I read, the more fascinated I became. Later, I was at a flea market and I found this in a case. And this one's quite a bit bigger. And either the people who are selling it didn't know what it was or it's fake. I don't know which. But this one measures like an inch long by about a ½ inch wide at the widest spot. And that one, they didn't have it marked, but it looks like Moldavite to me, and I paid $35 for that one. So, needless to say, this stuff is not cheap. So, I started looking for books, and I found this one. This is Moldavite, Star-Born Stone of Transformation, which I already said, published by Heaven and Earth Publishing. It was, this says $2.95, but it was $12.95. And, let me see what the publication date is. 1988. So apparently a lot of people have known about Moldavite a lot longer than I have. But I can see where I read the book and I've got all the little marks. And so what I got out of this book is that Moldavite causes transformation in your life. If you wear it, if you keep it around you, your life is supposed to transform for the better. So I took to wearing it in this little locket type thing that someone had given me, and this is how it works. It opens up and you put your stone in. The little Moldavite fit in there perfectly. And so for a while, starting probably in October of that year, I wore it around my neck like almost every day. I wore it to work and so on and so forth. And I'm waiting for a transformation, right? But nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. At the time, I was teaching drama to elementary school children. I still am. And, but that's not the part that transformed yet. So anyway, so I was teaching school and I was feeling a little bit burned out, getting burned out, just doing the same old thing all the time. And I thought, boy, I need some transformation. I need to find out what my purpose in life is. You know, what do I do? So I wore this. And then in February of the next year, the beginning of the next year. So I'd worn it for, you know, a few months, maybe 3, 4 months, less than 6 anyway. I wore it like every day, kept it by my bed at night and all that. And so it was about the 3rd of February, and I was about to cast a school play, and I'd stayed up late at night trying to figure out which kids should be in which parts, and because drama's taken very seriously at my school, and by the parents and children, and me, of course, since I'm the teacher. And so I was taking the dog out in the morning. It was like 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30 in the morning. And I was taking the dog out for a walk. So I had my husband's big old winter coat on. The dog was on the leash, and I had to walk down 7 steps to the driveway. So you go out my side door, my laundry room door, and you walk 7 steps down to the driveway. And the dog wasn't pulling me, wasn't anything. And I remember distinctly thinking as I walked outside the door, man, I need a break. And wouldn't you know it, I stepped off the top step, completely missed the step, like I stepped out into air. I have no idea what happened. The dog did not pull me. It wasn't that. And I fell straight down the steps and face planted into the cement driveway at the bottom of the steps. So I broke my nose. I caught myself with my wrist, and I broke my wrist. So you can see that lovely scar, which you may have noticed in some of my other, right there. In some of my other videos, you may have noticed that. So no, I wasn't self-destructive, at least not outwardly. And anyway, so I face planted into the cement, broke my wrist, and I got up. There's blood everywhere. The poor dog just sitting there next to me, not knowing what to do. That was Kitty. Kitty, yeah. He was sitting next to me, not knowing what to do. And so I got up, and I walked into the house, and I said to my husband, who was in the bathroom, I think I broke my wrist, because I was holding it and it was limp. But the weird thing is I had no pain at all at that point. And so he said, oh no. So he hurried and took me to the emergency room, and I had the x-ray, and of course the wrist was broken, and the doctor said he would have to operate and put in a metal plate into my wrist because of the way it was broken. So I had to wait 3 days, and they put the temporary cast on, and that's when the pain happened, because ow. Yeah, trying to twist it and squeeze it into a cast was kind of rough. And anyway, so I had surgery, and the doctor put me off school for 8 weeks. Oh, by the way, the pain up to that point was minimal. After the surgery, there's a whole 24 hours with no pain, and then the pain medication wore off, and blammo, boy did it hurt. But anyway, so the doctor put me off for 8 weeks, and everyone's like, well, it's only a broken wrist. Can't you just come to school with a cast? And it's like, well, no, apparently the doctor says no, so I'm not coming. So I had to take 8 weeks off of school. Now, during that time was when I decided I was going to learn to read tarot. So officially, I'd been playing with it for years, but you know, I didn't really feel like I knew everything I needed to know to actually do readings for people and charge people. And so I took the Biddy Tarot online certification course, which I do recommend. It was really, really good, and I liked it, and I learned a lot. And anyway, and since then, and then after that, right after that, I was getting ready to come back to school, and then we were put on online learning because of COVID. And so I was out for another however long that was. So anyway, during this time, I got my tarot certification, and I played with the idea of starting a YouTube channel. Now, that came a bit later, but my point, that came, in fact, about a year later. But the point is, falling down those steps and breaking my wrist and having to have surgery totally transformed my life. Now, is it a coincidence that just prior to that, I had been wearing the Moldavite for a few months? I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, I call that my Moldavite story because I feel like if this is a stone of transformation, and that happened after I wore it for a little while, a few months, I'm saying that was a major transformation. So my life completely changed after that. And a lot of other things happened as well, but the direction changed. Now I'm still teaching drama and all of that, but I have this whole other part of my life that I've started that I hope to continue with as well, even after I retire. So anyway, that's my Moldavite story. Take it or leave it. And I know a lot of people said, oh, it wasn't the stone. It was just an accident. It was just a coincidence. It was just like, so you happen to be wearing it. That wasn't what caused it. Well, maybe so, maybe not. But if any of you have any Moldavite stories, I would love to hear them. So anyway, this is the picture of Moldavite pieces, and this is the stone, and it really, really looks similar. So I think this big one is Moldavite as well. But if you're interested in getting this book, let me tell you what's in it in case you might be interested. It's by Robert Simmons and Kathy Warner, and it's with an introduction by Jean Houston, and their husband and wife who wrote this. So it talks about using Moldavite for channeling. It talks about their experience at Bell Rock, light tools, jewelry, body layouts, energy environments, spiritual properties of Moldavite. It talks about what other crystals and gemstones work well with it. And anyway, I found it to be very interesting, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. Do you really think that was the transforming thing, the thing that transformed? I mean, if not, then it was quite the coincidence that shortly after I started wearing it, this happened in my life, actually changed. So I just wanted to tell you that. I've been thinking about it for quite a while, and I finally said now is the time to do it. So if you have had any experience with Moldavite, I'd love to hear about it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel. If you have not done so, it's completely free for you, and it helps me out a whole lot. Plus, if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified whenever a new video is uploaded, so you won't miss any. I've got lots and lots of metaphysical type things on my channel, from tarot readings and deck reviews, oracle deck reviews, oracle readings. I have a 10-lesson series on how to read tarot for beginners, and I just think you'll like it if you're into metaphysical things. I even have book reviews. So I want to thank you for being with me today. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is where you are, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.